Hi guys, welcome to Educating College's Selective Preparation Power Reading Test 37. Today we'll be reading part of an interview called Of a Boy from an excerpt by the book Sonia Hartnett. He returns to the bush carefully to the tray, bristles down beside the mirror, but his fingers linger, balancing on the pyramid tips. You never use this brush and mirror, do you, Gran? She doesn't look up from the knot she's discovered. It's too good to use. Then why do you have it? Why do you just keep it on the table? His chin is jerked up as she wrenches the knot, and he hears his hair tearing. If we only kept what we had a use, she says, there would be a lot less junk lying around. He contemplates her image in the dresser mirror, wondering what she means. He's never seen much junk lying around the stolid neighborhood, but he imagines tottering tangles of doll heads, bike tires, and foil bottle caps rising as creaky mountains from the middle of footpaths. He scrambles like a mouse to the peak of a rubbish hill, and as far as he can see is inviting footsome and curious dregs, a child's utopia. He returns his gaze to the silvery mirror. His Gran is wearing a cream dress splashed with flowers so red they might be bleeding. Crystal looks the same as glass, she muses. What's the difference? His grandmother doesn't answer. He shifts his balance to the other foot. I don't know why there's two things that look the same but get called different names. Adrian stands still. She cuffs the side of his head and he straightens obediently, dropping his hands to his sides. In the mirror, she's frowning furiously at his hair. His hair is dense and yellow and strangely, stiffly wild. An armload of hay dumped helter-skelter on his head. It tangles like it has a lunatic mind of its own. Where on earth did he get his hair? His gran asks no one, and strand after strand of it breaks beneath her plowing comb. It didn't come from our side of the family. The McPhees have got these impossible straws. It comes from the father's side. Adrian steals a cowed glance to the mirror. His grandma's hair sits in downy cylinders. If he opens the top drawers of his dresser, he'll find the pink and blue plastic rollers responsible for curving it that way. Her hair looks white as chalk today. It is thin and getting thinner. He seems to remember it once being mauve. He dreads the thought of sprouting purple hair himself, but he worries that he'll never be a normal person, that his impossible hair is a symptom of some inescapable failing. Even when his grandma has finished with it, the hanks still seem defiantly snarled. There, she says, you're ready. Adrian's gaze flits to his reflection, his face, his trim school uniform, the sky blue skivvy at his throat, the V-neck jumper sport cuffs of navy blue, the grey corduroy trousers are ironed. This is ready, though it is the brink of winter. The past few days have been warm, and the corduroy will be heavy to wear. In the summer, the boys will wear shorts and the long socks, and their kneecaps look bruised, nobbled, too big for their legs. His gran says, get your things and I'll meet you in the car. He hurries down the hall to retrieve his sachet from his room, a hand on his forehead to soothe the smarting of his scalp. He double-checks the bag's depth for his homework and lunchbox. As he trots through the hall, the strap of the satchel's like a swinging snake on his arms. He hears his uncle calling him and slides to a halt on the paddock-way, teeth sinking into his lip. The door is slightly ajar. Adrian runs his hand down it lightly, so it glides on its own hinges. He slips part way through the gap, an arm and foot and a school bag staying in the hall. The room is dark, the curtains drawn closely. On the cold air is the ruddy mean scent of oil paint, and beyond it, another insistent and grimly stale. This is the only smell of a young man. But Adrian sniffs it in the odor and the bad things that can befall anyone. Yes, uncle. The darkened silence has made him whisper. A scrap of brightness noses in from the hall, but is parched before it reaches the end of the bed. Adrian knows his uncle is lying there, curled like a mole under his earthy heap of blankets. His pillow, Adrian knows, is limp and dented as a fallen leaf. Again he breathes, yes, uncle. Uncle Roy speaks into the back. His voice is like a snow. He says, you tell me something and I'll tell you something. A fishhook of dreads grabs at Adrian's maw. He hears outside the engine of the car. His grandmother is reversing the vehicle out of the garage. The car is as big as a tank, as an ocean liner, and it takes all of his grandma's patience to get it safely down the drive. If he is not there to meet it when the wheels heave on the footpath, then strife grand monster. The inspiration comes with gritty giddying relief. They found a monster in the sea. Have they? Yes, in the newspaper. It might be a dinosaur. Really, he hears the air jet from his uncle's nose. We'll see. Adrian can't think what to answer. His ears are pinned back with the sound of the car. The bag dances on the end of its straps. I've got to go. Question 1. What does Gran think of the mirror? We have A, that it has practical use, B, that it is a precious gift, C, that it is beautiful but useless, or D, that it is too good to use and there are other junk. So we'll go back and check what she says about the mirror. And it says here, within these paragraphs and a bit here. And we can see that the answer is not, it has a practical use, not that it's a precious gift. It is beautiful, but it isn't useless. And that D, it is too good to use and therefore rendered junk, per this path. Next we have question 2, which reads, he's never seen much junk lying around the stolid urban neighborhood. What does this line imply about Adrian's thought of Gran's statement? A, Adrian feels guilty because he is the one who leaves mess everywhere. B, Adrian can't relate because he can't see any junk around him. C, Adrian thinks Gran is exaggerating because she enjoys complaining. Or D, Adrian decides Gran must be wrong because he believes a tidy neighborhood proves people only keep useful things. We know it's not A here. Adrian feels guilty because he's the one who leaves mess. This part is not mentioned in the text. So is it C or D? Adrian thinks Gran is exaggerating because she enjoys complaining. We know it's not C because we don't see her complaining and him upset about her complaining. If we go back to this part, we'll see clues for the answer. We can see some part in the line that I've just underlined and a bit more in this paragraph here. So for question 2, we know the answer will be B. Adrian can't relate because he can't see any junk around him. And remember, he can't see the difference between two things that are different names as well. Question 3. She cuffs the side of his head. Based on this line, what does Grandma do to Adrian? Do we have A, punches him, B, positions his head roughly, C, turns his head gently, or D, slaps his head into place? We know for this one it can't be A, punches him, because the grandma is not violent in this text. As we also know it can't be D. Now, based on the language cuss, we know it is more than gentle but less than violent, so the answer must be B, positions his head roughly. Next we have question 4, which reads, what would be an appropriate title for this section of the book? A, Crystalline Glass, B, Junk in the Streets, C, Ready for School, or D, Uncle Roy's Room? So for this question, we know that we can eliminate D, because Uncle Rory is not a main subject of this chapter. It's also then not A, Crystal and Glass. Why they are a small subject, they're not a main subject, so it can't be A. So we have left B or C, Junk in the Streets, or C, Ready for School. We do know that in this text that the main character is getting ready for school, so it would be C. And we could see there about the corduroy, which is part of his uniform. Next we have question 5, which reads, what do we learn of Uncle Rory in this passage? A, that he is Adrian's favorite uncle. B, that he is dying. C, that he's young and smelly. Or D, that he's mentally ill. And we have nothing to suggest B or D, so we can cross those out. But we also don't have anything to suggest A, that he is Adrian's favorite uncle. We don't know if he's the only uncle or if he has others, so we can't deduce that from the text. So we have left C, that he's young and smelly, and I'll underline some proof as well. Next, we'll move on to question 6, which reads, again he breathed implies that A, Adrian is asthmatic, B, Adrian is bored and impatient. C, Adrian is panicking. Or D, Adrian feels slightly nervous and uncomfortable. So we know that for questions like this, it can't be A because we don't know if he's asthmatic. Also, there's no implication there. Is it C, Adrian is panicking when you're breathing? When you're breathing, unlikely to be panicking, so it's not C. Now we'll go check and we'll see if it's either B or D. So it did say in the text, his pillow, Adrian knows, is limp and dented as a fallen leaf. And then after it says, yes, Uncle. Uncle Roy speaks into the black. His voice is like the snow. He says, you tell me something and I'll tell you something. So for question 6, unlikely to be B, Adrian is bored and impatient. But D, he feels slightly nervous and uncomfortable with his uncle who's asking him many questions. Next, we have question 7, which reads, what is the impression we get of Adrian's grandma? A, that she is stern and impatient. B, that she is a bad driver. C, that she dislikes Adrian. Or D, that she is careful and impatient. So from this, we know about the grandma. It shouldn't be C, that she dislikes Adrian, since nothing suggests that one. Or B, that she's a bad driver, only that she drives slowly. And we know that she isn't particularly careful and patient because of earlier about her cuffing him the head, so it can't be D either. But A, that she is often stern and impatient. Lastly, we have question 8, which reads, why does the inspiration come to Adrian with giddying relief? A, Adrian wants to impress his uncle. B, Adrian is afraid of his uncle. C, Adrian is shy. Or D, Adrian is impatient and to get away to meet his grandma. So we know that's not A, because remember we couldn't see if it was implying that the uncle is his favorite, so it's not A. It's not B either, that he's afraid of his uncle. Remember, neither the grandma or the uncle are rude or anything else to him. But we also know that it's not C, Adrian is shy. He has no reason to be shy with his uncle. Instead, he was nervous. It must be D, Adrian is impatient to get away to meet his grandma and so that he can go to school away from his uncle's uncomfortable questions. Hey, thank you guys so much for coming to Educating College's Selective Preparation Power Reading Test 37. I'll see you guys next time.